Welcome to the e-learning course on Railway Services Conduct Rules 1966. We are in Module 1. Turn on your audio and click Start to begin the course. At the end of this module, the learner will be able to understand Rule 1, Rule 2, and Rule 3 of Railway Services Conduct Rules. Hi everyone, I am Bolu. I will guide you through these e-learning courses. Come with me, we will learn more about the Railway Services Conduct Rules 1966. The Railway Services Conduct Rules 1966 are a set of regulations that govern the conduct and behavior of railway employees in India. These rules were established to ensure discipline, integrity, and efficiency within the Indian Railways workforce. Click on each rule for more information. Rule 1 states that the set of regulations governing the conduct of railway employees will be known as the Railway Services Conduct Rules 1966. This title serves as a reference for identifying these specific rules in legal and administrative contexts. What does Rule 1 of the Railway Services Conduct Rules 1966 state? A. The disciplinary procedures for railway employees. B. The definition of misconduct for railway employees. C. The set of regulations governing the conduct of railway employees will be known as the Railway Services Conduct Rules 1966. D. The guidelines for promotions within the railway services. Your answer is correct. Rule 2A defines the meaning of government in RSC 1966 as 1. For gazetted officers in Railway Board, the President of India. 2. For other gazetted officers, the Railway Board. 3. For non-gazetted officers in R&B, the Secretary Railway Board. 4. For other non-gazetted officers in offices directly under the administrative control of Railway Board Head of Office concerned. 5. For other non-gazetted officers, general managers of the railway administration concerned. Rule 2B defines railway servant means a person who is a member of a service or who holds a post under the administrative control of the Railway Board and includes a post in the Railway Board. Rule 2C defines members of family in relation to a railway servant includes 1. Wife or husband, 2. Son or daughter, or stepson or stepdaughter of the railway servant, and wholly dependent on him. 3. Any other person related wholly by blood or marriage to the railway servant and wholly dependent on him. According to Rule 2A of the Railway Services Conduct Rules 1966, who is defined as the government for gazetted officers in the Railway Board? A. The President of India. B. The Railway Minister of India. C. The Prime Minister of India. D. The Chairman of the Railway Board. Your answer is correct. Rule 3 defines every railway servant at all times. 1. Maintain absolute integrity. 2. Maintain devotion to duty. 3. Do nothing which is unbecoming of a railway servant. 4. Perform his duties with the highest degree of professionalism and dedication to the best of his abilities. A railway servant who habitually fails to perform the task assigned to him within the time set, for the purpose and with the quality of performance expected of him shall be deemed to be lacking in devotion to duty within the meaning of Clause 2 of Sub-Rule 1. Every railway servant, 1. Holding a supervisory post shall take all possible steps to ensure the integrity and devotion to duty of all railway servants, for the time being under his control and authority. 2. No railway servant shall, in the performance of his official duties or in the exercise of powers conferred on him, act otherwise than in his best judgment except when he is acting under the direction of his official superior. Third, the direction of the official superior shall ordinarily be in writing, and where the issue of oral direction becomes unavoidable, the official superior shall confirm it in writing immediately thereafter. 4. A railway servant who has received oral direction from his official superior shall seek confirmation of the same in writing as early as possible, whereupon it shall be the duty of the official superior to confirm the direction in writing. No railway servant shall, in the performance of his official duties, act in a discourteous manner. In his official dealings with the public or otherwise adopts dilatory tactics, or willfully cause delays in disposal of the work assigned to him. Every railway servant shall, at all times, 1. Act in accordance with the government's policies regarding age of marriage, preservation of environment, protection of wildlife and cultural heritage. 2. Observe the government's policies regarding prevention of crime against women. Rule 3C defines, no railway servant shall indulge in any act of sexual harassment of any woman at any workplace. Every railway servant who is in charge of a workplace shall take appropriate steps to prevent sexual harassment to any woman at the workplace. Sexual harassment includes one or more acts behavior, namely physical contact and advances, or a demand or request for sexual favors, or making sexually colored remarks, or showing pornography, or any other unwelcome physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct of a sexual nature. The following circumstances, among other circumstances, if it occurs or is present in relation to or connected with any act or behavior of sexual harassment, may amount to sexual harassment. 1. Implied or explicit promise of preferential treatment in employment. 2. Implied or explicit threat of detrimental treatment in employment. 3. Implied or explicit threat about her present or future employment status. 4. Interference with her work or creating an intimidating or offensive or hostile work environment for her. 5. Humiliating treatment likely to affect her health or safety. Workplace includes 1. Any department, organization, undertaking, establishment, enterprise, institution, office, branch or unit which is established, owned, controlled or wholly or substantially financed by funds provided directly or indirectly by the central government. 2. Hospitals or nursing homes. 3. Any sports institute, stadium, sports complex or competition or games venue, whether residential or not used for training, sports or other activities relating thereto. 4. Any place visited by the employee, arising out of or during the course of employment, including transportation provided by the employer for undertaking such journey. 5. A dwelling place or a house. Which of the following is considered sexual harassment under the Railway Services Conduct Rules, 1966? A. Only physical conduct of a sexual nature. B. Only verbal conduct of a sexual nature. C. Any unwelcome physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct of a sexual nature. D. Only non-verbal conduct of a sexual nature. Your answer is correct. We have reached the end of Module 1. In this module, we have covered the rules 1, 2, and 3 of the Railway Services Conduct Rules, 1966. It is hoped that the session was both interesting and informative. Thank you. Welcome to the e-learning course on Railway Services Conduct Rules, 1966. We are in Module 2. Turn on your audio and click Start to begin the course. At the end of this module, learner will be able to understand Rule 4 to Rule 17 of Railway Services Conduct Rules. Click on each rule for more information. Employment of near relatives of railway servants in company or firm enjoying government patronage. Rule 4 states that the railway servant 1. Shall not use position or influence directly or indirectly to secure employment for any member of his family. 2. Shall not permit his son, daughter, or other dependent to accept employment in any company or firm with which he has official dealings except with the prior sanction of the government. 3. Shall, as soon as he becomes aware, intimate the government of the acceptance of an employment in any company or firm by a member of his family. 4. Shall not deal with any matter or give or sanction any contract to any company or firm or any other person if any member of his family is employed in that company or firm or under that person. Taking part in politics and elections. Rule 5 states that the railway servant 1. Cannot be a member of or be otherwise associated with any political party or any organization which takes part in politics, nor shall he take part in, subscribe in aid of, or assist in any other manner any political movement or activity. 2. Endeavor to prevent any member of his family from taking part in, subscribing in aid of, or assisting in any other manner any movement or activity which is or tends directly or indirectly to be subversive of the government, as by law established, and where a railway servant is unable to prevent a member of his family from taking part in, or subscribing in aid of, or assisting in any other manner any such movement or activity, he shall make a report to that effect to the government. 3. Shall not canvass, otherwise interfere with, or use his influence in connection with, or take part in, an election to any legislature or local authority, may exercise his right to vote, but where he does so, he shall give no indication of the manner in which he proposes to vote or has voted. Joining of associations or unions by railway servants. Rule 6 states that no railway servants shall join or continue to be a member of an association or union the objects or activities of which are prejudicial to the interests of the sovereignty and integrity of India or public order or morality. It is not permissible for a gazetted railway servant to join any association of non-gazetted railway servant like a railway employees union. Who is a member of railway employees union is promoted to gazetted rank, either in an officiating or permanent capacity. He shall resign his membership of such union. If, however, the officer concerned satisfies the general manager of the railway, concerned that by such resignation he will lose financially or otherwise under any beneficent scheme organized by such union, such as death or accident insurance, he may be permitted to continue as an ordinary member, but not as office bearer or representative of that union. The responsibility for satisfying the general manager in this respect will rest with the officer concerned. Demonstration. Rule 7 states that no railway servant shall engage himself or participate in any demonstration which is prejudicial to the interests of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency or morality, or which involves contempt of court, defamation or incitement to an offence. No objection to peaceful and orderly meetings or demonstrations are held during the lunch interval without obstructing in any manner the free passage to and from the office. The wearing of badges while at work should not be interfered with unless the badges have inscriptions or slogans which may offend against the interests of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state. Friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency or morality, or which may amount to contempt of court, defamation or incitement to an offence, demonstration or the raising of slogans, or other such disorderly conduct should not be permitted. Within office premises and disciplinary proceedings should be started against those found indulging in such action within office premises. What does Rule 4 prohibit a railway servant from doing? A. Giving financial help to family members. B. Using their position to secure jobs for family members. C. Recommending family for promotions. D. Supervising family members. Your answer is correct. Connection with press or other media. Rule 8 states that no railway servant shall, except with the previous sanction of the government, own wholly or in part, or conduct or participate in the editing or management of any newspaper or other periodical publication or electronic media. Nothing in Sub-Rule 1 shall apply in case a railway servant in the bona fide discharge of his official duties publishes a book or participates in a public media. A railway servant publishing a book or participating in a public media shall at all times make it clear that the views expressed by him are his own and not that of government. Criticism of government. Rule 9 states that no railway servant shall, in any radio broadcast, telecast through any electronic media, or in any document published in his own name, or anonymously, pseudonymously, or in the name of any other person, or in any communication to press or in any public utterance, make any statement of fact or opinion which has the effect of an adverse criticism of any current or recent policy or action of the central government or state government, which is capable of embarrassing the relations between the central government and the government of any state, or which is capable of embarrassing the relations between the central government and the government of any foreign state. Evidence before committee or any other authority. Rule 10 states that no railway servant shall, except with the previous sanction of the government, give evidence in connection with any inquiry conducted by any person, committee or authority, where any sanction has been accorded under Sub-Rule 1. No railway servant shall, in the course of giving such evidence, criticize the policy or any action of the central government or of a state government. Nothing in this rule shall apply to A. Evidence given at any inquiry before an authority appointed by the government, parliament, or a state legislature, or B. Evidence given in any judicial inquiry, or C. Evidence given at any departmental inquiry ordered by authorities subordinate to the government. Communication of official information. Rule 11 states that railway servant can communicate, in accordance with the RTI Act 2005. Railway servant shall not communicate, directly or indirectly, any official document or any part thereof, or classified information to any railway servant or any other person to whom he is not authorized to communicate such document or classified information. Subscription. Rule 12 states that no railway servant can ask for or accept contributions to or otherwise associate with the raising of any funds or other collections, in cash or in kind, in pursuance of any object whatsoever, including selling of tickets for charity show, with the previous sanction of the government or of the competent authority. Ministry's decision, sale of tickets for charity show, or any other purpose by railway employees, to the members of the general public is likely to invite public criticism and should not be permitted. Powers under this rule may be exercised by the GMs in respect of all staff working under them for collection of subscription for celebrating religious festivals only. Permission should be given on the specific conditions that only voluntary subscription are collected and no pressure of any kind is brought to the notice. According to Rule 10, what is a railway servant prohibited from doing without prior government sanction? A. Attending public events. B. Recommending someone for employment. C. Giving evidence in any inquiry conducted by a person, committee, or authority. D. Writing a personal letter to a higher authority. Gifts. Rule 13 states that no railway servant shall accept or permit any member of his family to accept any gift. Gift shall include free transport, boarding, lodging or other service or any other pecuniary advantage provided by any person other than a near relative or personal friend having no official dealings. Click on the PDF icon and download to know more information about Rule 13. Dowry, Rule 13A, states that no railway servant shall give or take or abet the giving or taking of dowry. Demand directly or indirectly from the parents or guardian of a bride or bridegroom, as the case may be, any dowry. For the purpose of this rule, dowry has the same meaning as in the Dowry Prohibition Act, 1961. Dowry means any property or valuable security given or agreed to be given either directly or indirectly, A, by one party to marriage to the other party to marriage, or B, by the parents of either party to a marriage or by any other person to either party to the marriage or any other person. For removal of doubts, it is hereby declared that any presents made at the time of marriage to either party to the marriage in the form of cash, ornaments, clothes, or other articles shall not be deemed to be dowry within the meaning of this section unless they are made as consideration for the marriage of the said parties. The expression valuable security has been same meaning as in Section 30 of the Indian Penal Code. Public demonstrations in honor of railway servants. Rule 14 states that previous sanction of the government required to receive any complimentary or valedictory address or accept any testimonial or attend any meetings of entertainment held in his honor or in the honor of any other government servant. Exception, farewell entertainment of a substantially private and informal character held in honor of a railway servant or any other government servant on the occasion of his retirement or transfer, or any person who has recently quit the service of any government, or the acceptance of simple and inexpensive entertainments arranged by public bodies or institutions. Private trade or employment. Rule 156 states that engage directly or indirectly in any trade or business, or negotiate for or undertake any other employment, or hold an elective office or canvass office for a candidate, or candidates for an elective office in any body, whether incorporated or not, or canvass in support of any business of insurance agency, commission agency, etc., owned or managed by any member of his family, or take part except in the discharge of his official duties in the registration, promotion, or management of any bank or other company registered or required to be registered under the Companies Act. Participate in or associate himself in any manner in the making of a sponsored media, radio, or television program, or a media program commissioned by government media but produced by a private agency, or a private produced media program, including video magazine. No previous permission necessary where the railway servant participates in a program produced or commissioned by government media in his official capacity. No permission required to undertake honorary work of a social or charitable nature, or undertake occasional work of a literary, artistic, or scientific character, or participate in sports activities as an amateur, or take part in the registration, promotion, or management not involving the holding of an elective office of a literary, scientific, or charitable society, or of a club or similar organization, the aims or objects of which relate to promotion of sports, cultural, or recreational activities registered under the Societies Registration Act. Take part in the registration, promotion, or management not involving the holding of an elective office of a cooperative society substantially for the benefits of railway servants, registered under the Cooperative Societies Act. report to the government if any member of family is engaged in a trade or business or owns or manages an insurance agency or commission agency, cannot accept any fee for any work done for any private or public body or any private person without the sanction of the prescribed authority. It is not permissible for a railway servant to take an insurance agency in his own name and canvass for the same. Railway servants should not ordinarily be allowed to accept part-time employment, whether under government or elsewhere, when through such employment is after office hours. Railway servants holding recognized qualification for any system of medicine may be granted permission by the HODs to undertake medical practice during spare time, on a purely charitable basis without detriment to his official duties. This will not apply to those who possess the qualification and are employed as physicians, surgeons, etc. on the railways. No railway servant should negotiate for commercial employment during service without obtaining the prior permission of the HOD, and such permission not be given unless there are any special reasons for doing so. Rule 16 states that no railway servant shall speculate in any stock, share, or other investment. Frequent purchase or sale or both of shares, securities, or other investments shall not deem to be speculation. Within the meaning of this sub-rule, occasional investments made through stockbrokers or other persons duly authorized and licensed is allowed. Intimate the government if the total transactions in shares, securities, debentures, mutual fund schemes, etc. exceeds 6 months' basic pay. No railway servant shall make or permit any member of his family or any person acting on his behalf to make any investment which is likely to embarrass or influence him in the discharge of his official duties. No railway servant shall either himself or through any member of his family or any other person acting on his behalf a. lend or borrow or deposit money as a principal or an agent to or from or with any person or firm or private limited company with whom he is likely to have official dealings, or otherwise place himself under pecuniary obligation to such person or firm or private limited company, or b. lend money to any person at interest, or in a manner whereby return in money or in kind is charged or paid. Railway servant may give to or accept from a relative or a personal friend a purely temporary loan of a small amount free of interest, or operate a credit account with a bona fide tradesman, or make an advance or pay to his private employee. Loan taken from LIC by the railway servant against their insurance policies will be covered by the exception provided in the above rule, and permission of the government will not be necessary. Rule 17 states that a railway servant shall so manage his private affairs as to avoid habitual indebtedness or insolvency. A railway servant against whom any legal proceedings is instituted for the recovery of any debt from him, or for adjudging him as an insolvent, shall forthwith report the full facts of the legal proceedings to the government. The burden of proving that the insolvency or indebtedness was the result of circumstances which, with the exercise of ordinary diligence, the railway servant could not have foreseen, or over which he had no control, and had not proceeded from extravagant or dissipated habits, shall be upon the railway servant. What is prohibited under Rule 13A for a railway servant? A. Accepting gifts from colleagues. B. Receiving favors from superiors. C. Taking loans without permission. D. Giving or taking dowry or abetting the act. Your answer is correct. We have reached the end of Module 2. In this module, we covered Rules 4 to 17 of the Railway Services Conduct Rules, 1966. It is hoped that the session was both interesting and informative. Thank you. Welcome to the e-learning course on Railway Services Conduct Rules 1966. We are in the Module 3. Turn on your audio and click Start to begin the course. At the end of this module, learner will be able to understand the Rule 18 to Rule 26 of Railway Services Conduct Rules. Click on each rule for more information. Rule 18 states that every railway servant shall on first appointment submit a return of assets and liabilities, giving full particulars regarding the immovable property inherited, owned or acquired, or held on lease or mortgage, either in own name or in the name of any member of family or in the name of any other person. The shares, debentures and cash including bank deposits, inherited or similarly owned, acquired or held. Other movable property inherited or similarly owned, acquired or held. Debts and other liabilities incurred by directly or indirectly. Every railway servant shall submit an annual return, giving full particulars regarding the immovable property, the inherited or owned or acquired or held on lease or mortgage, either in own name or in the name of any member of family or in the name of any other person. Government should be informed before acquisition or disposal of any immovable property by lease, mortgage, purchase, sale, gift or otherwise, either in own name or in the name of any family member. Previous sanction of the government is required if any such transaction is with a person having official dealings. Transaction in respect of movable property, either in own name or in the name of a family member, should be reported to the government within 1 month from the date of such transaction, if the value of such property exceeds 2 months' basic pay. Previous sanction of the government to be obtained if any such transaction is with a person having official dealings. Movable property includes jewelry, insurance policies, the annual premium of which exceeds 2 months' basic pay, shares, securities and debentures. All loans, whether secured or not, advanced or taken, motor cars, motorcycles, horses, any other means of conveyance, and refrigerators, radios, radiograms and television sets. Transaction entered into by the spouse or any other member of family of a railway servant out of his or her own funds, including stridan, gifts, inheritance, etc., as distinct from the funds of the railway servant himself in his or her own named and in his or her own right, would not attract the provision of Sub-Rule 2 and 3 of Rule 18. Restrictions in relation to acquisition and disposal of immovable property outside India and transaction with foreigners. Rule 18A states that previous sanction of the government required to acquire, by purchase, mortgage, lease, gift or otherwise, either in own name or in the name of any member of family, any immovable property situated outside India. Dispose of, by sale, mortgage, gift or otherwise, or grant any lease in respect of any immovable property situated outside India which was acquired or is held in own name or in the name of any family member. Enter into any transaction with any foreigner, foreign government, foreign organization or concern for the acquisition, by purchase, mortgage, lease, gift or otherwise, either in own name or in the name of any family member. Any immovable property for the disposal of, by sale, mortgage, gift or otherwise, or the grant of any lease in respect of any immovable property which was acquired or is held in own name or in the name of any family member. What must every railway servant submit annually regarding immovable property? A. Declaration of income from movable assets. B. Annual return of inherited, owned or leased immovable property. C. Statement of savings and investments. D. Report of work performance and promotions. Vindication of acts and character of railway servants. Rule 19 states that previous sanction of the government required for vindication of any official act which has been subject matter of adverse criticism or an attack of a defamatory character in any court or the press, permission shall be deemed to have been granted if no such sanction is received within a period of 3 months from the date of receipt of request. No prohibition from vindicating private character and or any act done in private capacity, and where any action for vindicating private character or any act done in private capacity, if taken, the railway servant shall submit a report to the government regarding such action. Canvassing of non-official or other influence. Rule 20 states that no railway servant shall bring or attempt to bring any political or other influence to bear upon any superior authority, to further her or his interests in respect of matters pertaining to her or his service under the government. Railway servants are advised to strictly refrain from bringing pressure from MP as other influential outsiders to secure benefits out of turn or regarding any matter arising out of their service. Restrictions regarding marriage. Rule 21 states that no railway servant shall enter into or contract a marriage with a person having spouse living, and no railway servant having a spouse living shall enter into or contract a marriage with any person. A railway servant who has married or married a person other than of Indian nationality shall forthwith intimate the fact to the government. Government may permit a railway servant to enter into or contract any such marriage as is referred to in Clause 1 or Clause 2 if it is satisfied that such marriage is permissible under the personal law applicable to such railway servant and other party to the marriage, and there are other grounds for so doing. Rule 22 states that a railway servant shall strictly abide by the law relating to intoxicating drinks or drugs during the course of his duties, and shall also take due care that the performance of his duties at any time is not affected in any way by the influence of such drink and drug. Refrain from consuming any intoxicated drink or drug in a public place. Rule 22A states that no railway servant shall employ to work any child below the age of 14 years. What are railway servants prohibited from doing regarding their interests in service matters? A. Bringing political or other influence to bear on superiors. B. Seeking mentorship from senior officials. C. Participating in government-related discussions. D. Requesting feedback on performance. Your answer is correct. Rule 23 states that the power of interpreting these rules is reserved to the President. Rule 24 states that the government may, be general, be special order, direct that any power exercisable by if under these rules shall, subject to such conditions, if any, as many be specified in the order, be exercisable also by such officer or authority as may be specified in the order. Rule 25 states that the Railway Services Conduct Rules 1966 contained in Appendix 1 of the Indian Railway Establishment Code Volume 1 shall cease to be in force except as respects things done or omitted to be done. Rule 26 states that, notwithstanding anything contained in these rules, a railway servant shall be granted by all the administrative instructions that may be issued, from time to time in regard to the conduct of railway servants. We have reached the end of Module 3. In this module, we covered Rules 18 to 26. With this, we have completed the course on the Railway Services Conduct Rules, 1966. It is hoped that the session was both interesting and informative. Thank you.